So we're here talking about traffic value. What is traffic value and how do you find money keywords? What are money keywords?
There's a ton of websites that we know out there that look really good, Tim, but it's not always obvious or easy to figure out if people are getting to the website. And then what I'm finding is even less and less people understand what are the words that people are using to find their website. So how much traffic a website's getting.
Yeah.
And then how do you figure out, are they ranking for the right types of words? Are they ranking for the wrong kinds of words? And then also, like, what are some words that we could be pushing on to turn into money, as you like to say?
Throw this up in our tool Ahrefs, Ahrefs.com. There's also SEMrush, which is, I think, a little bit cheaper. We use Ahrefs because it's the best tool on the market. I don't care if I have to spend a little bit more. There's efficiencies with clients. Okay, so we pop their website into Site Explorer and Ahrefs.
Yep.
And immediately we can see they have a traffic value of 924. Now this is an imperfect metric, but it is basically what you'd pay for your organic traffic if it was PPC traffic. So I clicked through to that to even see what is getting them the most traffic that's actually money. So loan insurance companies, you can see how this might make them some money. You know what I mean? If somebody if they were ranking for this, you could see how somebody might use PPC to go after that term and why they do it. So we look here, hey, I'm just gonna skip to how we increase it too. So we look at this page and we say, all right, there's money there. It would cost money to go after it for PPC, but it's got that organically through organic search results.
So I'm just gonna pause right there.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, if you could go back to the tool here.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is 31 people clicked on to this.
So this is, okay, sorry, this tool is an estimator.
Yep.
So this is, it's guessing that 31 people would click on this a month.
Okay.
And that traffic would cost $432 through Google Ads.
So if they
If
they were running Google search ads, they'd be paying over $10 a click to get.
Oh yeah, because loan insurance companies is clearly something that is money.
So they don't have to spend $11 a click or $12 a click because this page is showing up organically.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me.
Yes, and I also want to say here that this tool in and of itself, it's super easy to use. We have a better metric than this. So this is an estimator.
Okay.
And it's very imperfect. We've seen this be wrong many, many times. We do PPC for clients. We do organic search for clients. But it is really nice to have as a metric, right?
Got it.
So a little bit later in this video, I'm going to share how we estimate the traffic value.
Okay.
And it's separate from this tool, and it takes a little bit of working with the client to determine those key numbers. So
Gotcha.
we consider ourselves a partner for clients, and we actually work through what's their customer lifetime value. Let me say it again, customer lifetime value. So that's how much a customer on average is spending with them over the course of their relationship.
Okay.
And then secondly, super important to have these things down for your business. So we consider ourselves a business analytics company, not just a search engine optimization company. What is the closing ratio? How good are your salespeople closing things? How well are they closing things? Excuse me. Because there's a opportunity maybe to increase that. And ultimately, if we're feeding hundreds of leads to a company and they're only closing 2% of then maybe there's a problem besides your lead generation. Do you know what I mean? So it's very important for us to get those down with the company. But this is good from a high level because you see, hey, we'd have to spend that money. And ultimately, we've had clients go from 2,000 total traffic value to 8,000 in the course of 6 months. So they did SEO with us for, basically tiddlywinks. Not very expensive for 6 months, and then now their traffic value is $8,000 every single month.
Gotcha.
And so that will continue, likely, even if it's good to continue SEO, but it's going to that traffic value doesn't go away immediately. Whereas PPC, if you stop paying for it, it's done.
Yeah, and so the reason it's important to have high value traffic is because high value traffic means high value leads, right?
Yes, in general, right? So like we go in here to the other piece is the keywords too, right?
Yep.
And sometimes you have stuff where it's maybe not as high intent.
Sure.
So we talk about intent. There's low intent, meaning they're not really planning on purchasing. High intent, they're about to purchase.
Yeah.
If they're clicking loan insurance companies, they're likely to be ready to purchase sometime soon, right?
Yeah.
So we're looking around for things that are high intent, and we're also looking around things that could just drive traffic, because we do want traffic to the website. We want people spending time on the website in guides and deep resource posts, because that actually, sorry to get super complicated here, but the time on site overall is going to matter for the other pages. So we want to create resources that people spend a lot of time on, even if they're not going to make a purchase, even if they're not in your sweet spot, because that actually increases the likelihood of your other pages, the more money pages, to actually, rank higher because of that time on site. So anyways, this is how this tool does it. It's awesome, right? It's cool. We can see what they've got traffic value. We can also do this for your competitors.
I like it.
What's one of this guy's competitors? Even if you don't tell me, I can figure that out with this tool. What? No way. Yes, we can actually see what websites are competing with this from a search perspective. Is your mind blown yet?
My mind is blown. Let's click on there.
Competing domains.
See if some of them show up.
It's beautiful. So, Ron Cohen Appraisal. Seattle's
that's definitely
Seattle specialty. Did he talk about that in the process at all, Ron? So let's look at what Ron Cohen. This basically means the intersection graph is that there's unique keywords to target. Common keywords, you have 5%, and the competitor has 158 keywords that you don't have that we could go after. So let's look at those keywords that are unique to the competitor. It finds them because there's intersection, right? And I'm not saying these are all money, right? They're not all things that you should go after. And I don't understand this business that closely yet. But as we start to understand that business, we're looking for things that they would also want that we should create a page for on that website. So the application part of this for existing pages is to duplicate the amount of content, to get more content and to make this page more compelling, because this is where his money is coming from likely, if anywhere on the site. And then looking at these competitors and actually finding, hey, maybe it's free home appraisal. Maybe it's, whatever it happens to be. We're looking online home value estimator, free home value estimates. These are things that the competitor has that you don't have, that maybe then we can create a page for or a piece of content for on this website to go after.
Sure.
So honestly, I don't need to make this more complicated than that is. Like if it intersects, if your competitor has stuff on this tool and you're looking at it and you're seeing this content gap, you need to create that content on your website.
Got it.
That's beautiful, right?
Yeah. Helpful.
And you just keep on going through competitors like this. You can do it yourself. You can have us do it for you. Let me talk through a little bit about the next level, about estimating the amount of traffic and value of that traffic. So we're talking about, excuse me, I'm skipping back and forth here, but we're talking about this traffic value, right? We want to get better at estimating traffic value because likely his website is worth more than this on average. We want to get better on estimating that for real, because this thing's only estimated. It doesn't know your business.
Yeah.
So once we get in and understand your business, we're figuring out a couple different things. We're figuring out what that customer lifetime value is. So this client, we've got customer lifetime value is average of $14,700.
Okay.
His closing percentage, I'm not trying to out this guy, but closing percentage is 1 out of 10. That's not that uncommon.
Sure. And
then we look at the conversions, so the form submissions and the phone calls. We can track both of these in Google Analytics so that we get actually, this is a live number of his estimated value for the last 30 days based on that customer lifetime value and based on that closing ratio.
Got it.
And we can also tell you where those things are coming from. So 14 out of 20 of his form submissions are coming from Google traffic.
Okay.
And this isn't terrible, but we're trying to move this up over time. 12 out of 18 of his phone calls are from Google traffic, and we're trying to move this up. And what we do is we track that year over year. So he has 133% more form submissions than last year.
Okay.
And we weren't tracking phone calls last year at this time. But ultimately, when it's year over year phone calls, we'll be able to see that percentage increase as well. And it's about moving that up year over year, right? Yeah. And if we're doubling the amount of phone calls and doubling the amount of form submissions every year. I think that that's a pretty good goal.
Yeah.
And it's also something that it's not that crazy to achieve. Our average customer gets 62% more organic traffic year over year. And this is just one way to do that. This is Google Data Studio. We're doing some live estimations in here based on the customer lifetime value and the closing percentage that the client gave us. And the good part is, if you're an organic agency, if you're a numbers focused agency, first of all, clients love that.
Yeah.
Clients love when, you've talked about it before, the accountant loves you because you're spending money on marketing that has a 5x return. Right? If you're spending money on the right marketing activities, and we're not the only right marketing activities, we're just one of them. We're one of the powerful ones. But if you're spending money on the right marketing activities, it will have a 5x return on what you spend. And for this client, it's more than that from us. But
I think what people want to know is what are they close on?
Yep. What are they close?
Yep.
So ultimately, if I click through on this traffic value, you can see, this is a client of ours that went up from 2,000 to 7,000 or almost 8,000. So I look for things that are 16th.
Okay.
Digital asset management for them 16th, and that's a pretty high volume term. So that's a big possibility. I'm looking for anything that's 11 to 20 in particular, and then again 6 through 10, because if it's on the second page or on the bottom of the first page and we push it up, that's money for them. Okay. And ultimately we know that pushing up digital asset management has led to more leads for them, just them talking about it with us and stuff like that. So it's finding those things that are close. What is digital asset management, 3D asset management, those types of things, and finding those and pushing those up. So
got it. So finding those 11 through 20s high intent tend to be the biggest opportunity.
And that's money right there on the brim.
Yep.
That they could get if they were aggressive about SEO.
Yep, I like it. And then I think the other thing that people find valuable is back on that competitive one, getting a sense for those content gaps. So just kind of getting a sense for, we already went over it, but I think that's the other thing people like to see and know is how am I doing compared to, what the sales team says is my biggest competitor.
Yeah, and it's really hard to do these things from an outside perspective. We have to get in with the client and we have to see, hey, what really makes you guys money? Yeah. So we always ask that question 5 times in the process of onboarding a client. What really makes you money? Because I don't want to sit here pushing on something. Let's say marketing maturity model or something for this client. It's at 9, let's push it up. Let's say, what if that doesn't make them money?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just think asking throughout the process, throughout your sales process and throughout our kind of SEO process of what really makes you money? Because those are the things we want to push on. Those are the things we want to identify. And we want to find a cloud of topics that are the topics. Because we're not just pushing on one keyword or even, it's really a topic. And, there's kind of a big thing at one of a competing agency in town, and they're saying, keywords are dead. Keywords aren't fucking dead. It's just that topics, yes, clusters of keywords, topics matter. But keywords are a wonderful way to identify what's currently working topic-wise and to push on it. If you don't look at your keywords at all, then you're dead. So it's a challenge to do it. I think that's why many marketers and marketing agencies back down. They go, keywords are dead. Keywords are not dead. You are going to be dead if you don't focus on the keywords. And you need to actually dive in here and look, and you need to learn keyword strategy, and you need to learn it. It's hard. That's why a lot of marketing agencies go, oh, they're dead. You know what I mean? We do it because we don't want responsibility. And ultimately, it's a lot of marketing agencies that don't actually know how to push up traffic in a systematic way over time, and they focus on brand. They focus on brand because sometimes the technical hard things of SEO are fucking hard, and they don't want to do it. And they're going to back down because they don't want to be held to the results, their nose in their shit, because the results are shit. So ultimately, there's something to be looked at here. It's, do you know what things are making you money now? And if you don't know what things are making you money now, then you are going to be having a hard time pushing on those, aren't you? So I would say focusing on the keywords is a great place to start. I get where they're coming from. I get it. I'm just fucking with you. So the point is topics matter, right? Topics, that's what they're going after, and that's what they mean. But if you don't know which terms are making you money, how are you supposed to push on those?
I like it. I like it. Find money keywords, build topics around those, right?
Yes. What other questions can we go through?
I think those are the biggest ones right now. It's understanding like how to identify a company that's on the edge, and then demonstrate to them like, look, you are so close to this traffic that's happening, this money that's happening. Let's push you up, and so you can start ranking. And then the next conversation, and this can be saved for a different video.
Yeah.
But the next conversation is, once we start driving traffic to your website, then what, right? That's when we got to be thinking about conversion rates, making sure that we've got call to actions, and then when they're actually doing the call to action, filling out the form or calling your company, what's the follow through process?
Agreed. And for instance, let's talk through this client, because we've got what is digital asset management ranking. We need clear call to actions on every page. We need to figure out how this is going to actually drive traffic. So we've got a guide that's downloadable. Once we drive traffic, is it going to convert like you're saying? Is it clear visually what it's talking about? How can we push up on that? How can we make the content more comprehensive? So agreed, it's not just about ranking, it's about actually figuring out how that ranking corresponds with conversions. I'm reiterating what you said.
Yeah, and if you look at this this specific page, to me, this is going to have a much different call to action than a different type of page. And the reason I say that is the topic of this is what is digital asset management, which is a high level, it's higher up in the funnel. This is awareness stage. So the call to action isn't going to be as strong, as something that is like best digital asset management company. So if I look at the call to action, this one, it makes a lot of sense why the call to action is download a guide. Right? Someone that's showing up on this page is in the research phase.
Agreed. So we've been talking a lot internally about optimizing for intent, figuring out what this person really wants when they're searching that thing. Because ultimately, if you optimize for what they really want, then you're going to do a lot better. There's opportunity to rank for something and then slowly go down because you're not optimized for intent. So it's finding out what that intent is and serving it the best you possibly can. And then ultimately trying to leverage it for business goals. But if you don't optimize for intent first, then you're never going to get the opportunity to sell to that person anyways.
I like it.
And it's funny to me because think about B2B stuff. People always think, well, are these executives really Googling things? Do you think you stop Googling things once you become an executive? What? So it's like B2B companies need to be leveraging this stuff and need to understand that their ideal clients are Googling things. And even if they found out about you through a trade show, through a referral, they're still Googling the topics related to your business. And if you're the one showing up for those topics, how do you think that supports your sales process?
Exactly.
It definitely supports your sales process. So,
or even worse, how bad do you think it would hurt your sales process if you met someone at a trade show, they lost your card or your brochure, then they went to Google you and couldn't find you, or even worse, found a competitor.
They Google what you do. They're like, I really wanted that. What was that? They Google it. They get educated about it by your competitor and then take him because you prepped them at a trade show and you had a very good conversation and then they bought from somebody else. I can just imagine that, right? Like, let's say you have a particular manufacturing process that's proprietary, or you think of it as proprietary. You give them the name of it. Let's say it's the Magnum Power industrial process, and they Google Magnum Power, and for some reason that process is also talked about by a competitor, and they decide to go with them because they educated them on that process. So ultimately, there's opportunity to steal people's. if you figure out what those things are, those proprietary. If you figure out what those processes are that other people are looking for, The point is it's good to have these things down. It's good to know what your customer lifetime value is, your closing percentage, and it's really good to get them tracked in a live way so you understand, and also year-over-year metrics. Yeah. It's not that crazy hard to do, but it's good to partner with a marketing agency that's numbers focused. So remember, ask your marketing agency about the numbers focus. Are you focused on getting more conversions? Do you understand our business? Are you going to actually learn about our business, customer lifetime value and closing percentage? And also, do you understand the tools? Yeah. Google Data Studio is not the only one, but having a live dashboard with the estimated revenue, I will say it's not that common, really. It's kind of funny. For so many numbers-focused agencies out there, not everyone is showing you what money they're producing year over year. And I strongly suggest you work with a marketing agency that is. Like I said, we're not the only one. And we have sister agencies in different niches. Our niche happens to be construction and small business. We can direct you to any niche because we're friends with a lot of agencies, and we love referring them business. So if we're not the right fit, we'll connect you with the right fit.
Absolutely.
And we love helping people get more leads and traffic through Google. Focus on your traffic value and try to move that up year over year. We'd love to partner with you on it or direct you to a marketing agency that's niched in your niche. So,
I like it.
All right.